What's going on YouTube? Is Donnie B all day bringing you another Frost Cutlery folder before I bring you some really cool stuff that's coming up. So pay attention to the channel because I got some knives that are just cool, man. My voice is a little jacked up because I spent all night long with all access pass for Super Troop. I was basically running the whole thing for them. Those guys, Super Troop, absolutely killed it. It was a hair fest at Indian Ranch. Stay tuned for it next year. It's coming back. Holy crap, what a show. Freaking awesome. So I'm bringing you the Buck Shot tactical folder by Frost Cutlery. I think it's really cute how the handle proudly says USA and then the blade says China. It happens. All right, but we're going over what's good and what's not about this knife. And right away I can tell you that it actually has a pretty good feel to it. The blade is 3.5 inches. Overall you're looking at 8 1/4. So it's a good size pocket knife. And I'll tell you what, it feels pretty solid in hand for a cheap plastic knife. You know what I mean? Especially for one of those $15 knives. It does have some kind of lanyard strap hole here. It does have steel pins. There's no adjustable tensioner. It does have a thumb notch on a thumb stud. It is a half serrade, and as you notice, it's the pointy serrades, not the flat serrades, so they will need to be sharpened at some point. But here's what I don't like about this one, and this isn't all of them because I've seen these before and I just have this one. The tip is round on this one. It looks like it was jammed into a brick before they decided to ship it. That's exactly how it came. I didn't do this to it. I haven't touched this blade yet. Outside of that, right there's a huge gouge, man. It's actually pretty good. You can thumbnail it. It looks as if I don't know, I mean, it's not a hand forged blade, so I know what it's not. It's just, I don't know if it's scratching on something or if it got scratched on something, but that's a pretty big chunk taken out of there. I don't think it's going to affect the performance of the knife. I think the knife's going to be okay. I've used one like this before, similar with just a different blade shape, and I really liked it. I was building an AR-15 with it, however. I was putting on the foregrip, and I was using this to spread a spring, not this one, but the one I had before, and I snapped the tip off. So this one I'm not going to do that with because, well, I found out that snaps the tip off. So first things first, is it sharp? Ooh, a serrate will get you. You gotta be careful with that when you're doing the old shave test. And shave sharp, not even close. All right, so it does have an edge, but it does have an edge. It doesn't have an edge that's going to remove hair unless you're grabbing something by the hair and doing this shit with it. But don't do that. That's not very nice. So what we are going to do, though, is something not nice to this water bottle over here. And we're going to see if we can't jack that mother up. So let's go do that real quick. All right, real quick it is. It's time to send this bottle flying, most likely. Uh-oh. That was actually pretty nice. You see what happened there. Round tip, it still stabs. That actually did puncture. Now let's see if we can't draw a little. Oh yeah. Woo! Woo-hoo-wee. So it does have a round tip, which means you're not going to be skinning. You can see that just skating off of there. You will not skin with this knife unless yours comes with a tip. You may be able to do that. What I'm going to do eventually is I'm going to put my own tip on there because, well, I'll just need to. I'm probably going to grind it from the top to maintain the edge profile. And what I'll do is I'm just going to literally put it like this and go bzz, and just give it a zip once there, only this much, and that's going to give it a fine tip. I know it will. Then I'm going to test it for skinning. But until then, I have to test it out of the box. So that's what I'm going to do, and this is what I'm left with. However, this seared through the bottle like it was nothing. I mean, like it was nothing. And I like that. So let's keep on going. All right, this old pallet's been taking a beating. Might as well beat it up a little bit more. See if we can't take out a few chunks. And oh yeah, I gotta say, I'm removing chunk. I'm removing chunk with this little folder, and that's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. It's not a chopper, obviously, but it's getting the job done. It's, let's see, right here's where I was hitting, boop, right there, and that little bit of time left a little bit of dent. All right, little Buck Shot tactical folder, not too shabby, but let's go see how it's going to do in the drop test, because I'm wondering if that round tip is going to stick from a 4-foot drop. We will find out together. Drop test time. Let's see how well it balances. Hee. All right. Show me something, Frost Cutlery. Show me something. Yeah. All right, so that is obviously dropping dead straight. I mean, dead straight. It just doesn't get any better than that on a balance test. That thing is so well balanced for a folder. That's impressive. I like that. Let's see if we can't get it to stick a little bit here. I said see if we can. I didn't say we're gonna. So let's do a couple downward throws and see how that goes. See if anything loosens up. Test the bite, which isn't bad. Now let's test the lock here. Opens, closes. Opens, closes. So let's test the spine lock. So much better than one of those other ones we tried. I'm not gonna say which one. Made by maybe the same company though. And because I don't remember its name. So it works just fine. It holds up. Now this is not the kind of knife you pry with, because you will separate this, but we want to just test the tip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick it in, and instead of prying from up here, I'm going to pry from down here just to see the tip. All right, I don't recommend you do that without gloves on, because if you're just 2 points more of an idiot than I am, you're going to cut your finger. But so far, I'm pulling chunks of this little stump out, and I am doing no further damage that was already sent to me onto this tip, this flat tip, which is cool that it's sticking in, being flat. It's more like, I want to say the tip is it's bigger than like a glasses, like a screwdriver for glasses, but yeah, man, it's still flat. It's still flat. That's kind of bogus, but it's okay. We're gonna fix that. So let's keep on going. Oh, you know what? Why do I say that like we're leaving? We're gonna stay right here. We're gonna stay right here, y'all. All right, so let's see what we can't do. I'm gonna go with the non-serrated part, and holy moly! So if you have to cut some nylon string, and you got a couple days, you know, to chill out and do that with, this knife is great for not being able to do that unless you have a couple days to do it, because it barely does anything. Let's try the serrated area here. Oh yeah. Well, if you give it the old saw action, you'll get halfway through. So nylon rope test, fail. So if you don't want it for cutting rope, bam. If you work in like a some kind of factory where you're cutting open boxes all the time, and you don't like snapping razor blades, you know, out of box cutters, this kind of knife right here is going to be perfect for you. If you are an outdoorsman, a wilderness guy, somebody who relies on a knife, this is not going to be your knife. I'm telling you right now. Let's see what we have here. Let's try to carve with the serrated part. And, well, it's a little tough. It works. Let's try to do the same thing with the non-serrated part. Yeah, good luck with that shit. Let's give a couple, let's get a couple little, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, feather sticking. Obviously, you can do it. It's actually making really fine, really fine feathers. It's just, I'm working it to get them. I mean, look at that. You see those right there? That right there, I could light a fire with that all day long. The problem is it shouldn't be such a pain in the ass to get that much. You know what I mean? And that comes down to the overall sharpness of the knife and the grind, the profile of that. It depends on the angles, and this one just seems to not have a friendly angle on it. Is what it is. Let's see what we have here. We have some rubber hose. Let's see how it goes. So you've seen me with other knives literally just breeze through this crap. I mean, some of them like this, boom, 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 this much power. This guy is not putting a dent in the rubber. So, I mean, really, it's not that sharp. It's not that strong. It's not that pointy. You know, the edges aren't balanced well. There's a whole lot you can't do with it. Now this is, obviously we're going to get through that by banging on that thing. But let's check out what we did to it, and if anything at all. And we did nothing to it. The blade is strong, all right? The blade itself is strong. The whole package is not strong. So you can whack away on this, and it's just fine. I just proved that. That's hardwood, and it took a little work, but I was able to get through it. The problem is, it took a little work. It shouldn't have taken as much work as it did to get through that, but it did. But I got through it. So here's the thing. You may get one with a flat tip. You could get one that wobbles a little bit. You could get one where the lock is a little stiff or the lock is a little loose. You can't do anything about that. You're going to get one that, you know, is going to be sharp enough to go through water, but not sharp enough to go through hair. You're going to get one that isn't going to be able to cut through rope, isn't going to be able to cut through rubber. You're going to be able to feather stick with it. You're going to be able to feather stick very well. Feather stick, not feather stick, because that's not a real fucking term. But you are going to be able to feather stick, even though it's going to feather stick really, really well. It's just going to be a pain in the ass to get it done. So the only thing you really need to know is, what happens if I throw this thing? Well, I think I have an answer. Let's go find out together. It's time, it's always time to throw a little blade here. So let's see if we can't wing this one. First shot. And I have to say, that thing threw so easy. I mean, that is dead straight. That thing threw so easy. This is my first throw with it. I felt like I've been throwing it all my damn life. So, as far as I'm concerned, this thing shines throwing it. That was really, really nice, actually. But as far as a utility knife, I can see using it in a you know, the kind of setting where you might be in the docks or whatever, and you're cutting boxes in some kind of storage area. If you're doing that, this thing might be pretty good for you. If, you know, you're the kind of person that walks where you get a lot of bad dogs attacking you and they're coming at you, this is obviously going to be a good sticker right here. You're going to be able to use this thing all day long for self-defense. That's not an issue. Now the good thing is you're around 15 bucks on this knife. That's the good thing. You can get this thing for 15 bucks. You can throw it. You can defend yourself with it. But outside of that, I'm telling you, it's just to be used, you know, strictly for like box opening and things like that. Normally I'd bring it to the rack, but I'm not going to. I'm going to end it right here because it flew so well it deserves to end right here. Another Frost Cutlery knife. Another knife that, you know, is subpar somewhere and pretty damn good in other places. Is it something that I would recommend you buy to have as your knife, your everyday carry knife, your every purpose knife, hell no, not going to do it. Just can't. However, if you're looking for something cheap, you're looking for something because you're snapping a lot of razor blades and your freaking box cutter, this guy is a good alternative right here. If you're looking for a cheap knife for a kid, for their first good, or first folding knife, I don't want to say good, but I don't want to say bad either. For their first folding knife, this could be an experience right here. Learning to really use one, because if you can teach a kid to carve and whittle and do things with a knife like this, then once you get them into a really good knife, then life just gets easy. So, yeah, not too bad, not too bad. I'm Donnie B all day. And until next knife, watch this, watch.